Last month, I explained that challenging the presidential contenders to the throne on how they would accomplish the things they say they will do is folly. But we keep hearing such useless challenges. Indeed, cable news picked up the story from the April 1 interview of Bernie Sanders by the New York Daily News editorial board and somehow found a fatal lack of how-ness in his responses, and they obsessed over that. The Daily News interviewer said to Sanders, quote, "You expect to break up the big banks within the first year of your administration. What authority do you have to do that? And how would that work? How would you break up J.P. Morgan Chase?" Oddly, and this may be news to our cable news obsessors, it just isn't useful to ask him that because, breaking news, our presidents are not dictators. They don't get to wave their hand and have the country make it so. What they get to do is to name the things they see as critical and which they will influence to the best of their ability to come about if they're elected. That's all they have. Hillary Clinton tells us on her website that she will reform campaign finance. She has a 3-step program to do that. First, overturn Citizens United. Next, she will end secret, unaccountable money in politics. Third, she will establish a small donor matching system to amplify the voices of everyday Americans. Good ideas. But as president, she wouldn't be able to do any of that. Presidents don't get to overturn Supreme Court decisions or make laws. Again, all she would be able to do would be to try to influence those in other parts of government to accomplish those things. That's it. Donald Trump tells us that he's going to build a 1,989-mile long wall along our entire border with Mexico, and he's going to get Mexico to pay for it. Setting aside the belly laughs that are coming from Mexico City, when asked how he will get the Mexican government to pay for it, his most specific answer that is understandable to a normally functioning human being is that he claims he's a hard negotiator. Here's what he said. This is a quote. "Mexico must pay for the wall, and until they do, the United States will, among other things, impound all remittance payments derived from illegal wages, increase fees on all temporary visas issued to Mexican CEOs and diplomats, and if necessary, cancel them, increase fees on all border crossing cards, of which we issue about 1 million to Mexican nationals each year, a major source of visa overstays, increase fees on all NAFTA worker visas from Mexico, another major source of overstays, and increase fees at ports of entry to the United States from Mexico. We will not be taken advantage of anymore." Close quote. Don't be troubled by your inability to understand most of that because some of it is vapor from Trump's imagination, and the rest are things he cannot do by fiat. Assuming he is serious about doing the things he mentions, he cannot do them, at least not on his own. There are exceptions, like Bernie Sanders telling us how he would fund tuition at our state universities through a tax on financial transactions. And there are other candidates who list some how stuff too. For the most part, though, we can examine all the issues detailed by all the candidates, but in fact there isn't much to examine. From a practical point of view, the only thing of use to you is that you can get a general idea of how a person thinks, what they believe, and the things they want you to believe they will do if they are elected. You get to sort through all of that noise, jettison the stupid stuff, and then make your selection. So, one more time, stop obsessing about the how. And pass this along to whatever broadcast or cable news outlet you follow, telling them to chill about the how. I'm Jack Altshuler.